He's one of the world's most controversial performers. Since his early rise to fame, the artist formerly known as Prince has stunned audiences with his great musicianship, wild lyrics, and incredible live shows. He's had 20 years of huge success and a few public failures along the way. 2 years ago, he got into a feud with his record label, Warner Brothers, and wrote the word slave on his face. Now he's free of his old contract and has celebrated that with the release of a triple album called Emancipation.
Greatest rock record ever.
Audiences and fans.
That record really meant a lot to me.
Welcome to the Dawn. Please enjoy your experience.
The last 8 albums, or could have been longer than that. On all the credits, there's always the thing that says, may you live to see the dawn. Is this the dawn?
My own personal dawn, it is, yes. It's a time period where you figure out where you're going. You've completely judged where you've come from and laid out all the pieces, and you know exactly what it all means at that point.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life.
There's a lot of religion in the music, a lot of spirituality. I mean,
Spirituality, yeah.
I mean, even your first film starts off, Dearly Beloved. It's the first thing we hear. I just want to know, have you ever practiced any organized religion at any point in your life?
No, sir.
Okay.
I mean, I was made to go to church when I was young, and the most thing I got out of that was the experience of the choir. But as far as the message was concerned, a lot of it was based in fear. You know, what will happen to you if you do something bad, and I don't think God is, to be feared that way. You understand what I'm saying?
I totally understand what you're saying.
I think he's a loving God, and I think he'll reward you for that, not punish you for your mistakes.
God doesn't whip his child, he gives him time out.
Amen.
Could you be the most beautiful girl in the world? It's plain to see you're the reason that God made a girl.
How did your early relationships with women, your mother, your sister, who you refer to in various records, actually affect the music? Because so much of your music is about women.
Well, once my mother remarried, she had to, it was during a time period in my life where she had to try to teach me about the birds and the bees. And I think I've never asked her about this, but I think there was some sort of plan to initiate me heavy and quick. So I was given Playboy magazines.
Get out of here.
And there was erotic literature laying around that was very easily picked up. And, it was pretty heavy at the time. I think it really affected my sexuality a great deal.
Early on in your career, you was the androgynous thing. Was that an act, or were you searching for a sexual identity?
That's a good question. I don't suppose I was searching, really. I think I was just being who I was, being the true Gemini that I am, And there's many sides in that as well. And there was a little acting going on too. We'd have the scene where I go hug the bass player, he's a man, and I'd go kiss the keyboard player, she's a woman. We had some of that going on too, but it was rock and roll.
Now, if you could assemble your supergroup of your contemporaries, that to be of contemporaries and no one who's been in any of your bands, I'll give you Chile. Who would you get?
That's a good question. I've seen this one on the internet before. The interesting thing is, you know, without sounding too arrogant, is that I've really had some of the greatest musicians in my band.
I know you have.
Yeah. I'd have Wendy and Lisa back.
Come on, man. We knew you were going to say that.
Well, we'd have Sheila E. on the drums. You got to do that.
I'll give you Sheila.
I'll take it back. Sheila E. on percussion. I have Michael Bland playing drums.
Okay.
And then on the bass, man, see, that's hard. You know, Rhonda Smith. No, Rhonda Smith. Because she learned from Larry. You know, she's trying to take it to the next level.
Okay.
I'd have her doing that. Oh man, I'd have the band I got now.
I knew he was going to do that. How we doing, Jelly Bean? Basketball fan.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your favorite team? Who's your favorite player?
I'd have to say Jordan, just because of his focus.
Okay.
And I like the Bulls for their discipline. I run my band like that, and I use basketball as an example in a lot of different instances.
Do you find your guys who are missing notes? And, you know?
I used to actually fine them, but I just threaten them with fines now. You know, and
Well, you don't pay them enough.
Well, they have a lot of respect for the music and themselves, so they, you know, they don't like to mess up either. You know, there was a game there recently where Jordan just wasn't on, you know, and he just sat down and put his head down. See, that's, you know, that's because it hurt his soul. You could just tell, you know, and that's what I want out of a musician. I want them to realize that music is, it's important to all of us, you know, and it can't be disrespected.
There was never like any rivalry between you and Mr. Jackson?
You know, that Wesley Snipes character,
Right.
that would have been me.
Guess I should know by the way you parked your car sideways that it wouldn't last.
I watched an interview with Mike Tyson recently, where he was watching an old tape of himself, and he said, "I can't beat that guy." When you see old tapes of yourself, I mean, how do you find them intimidating?
No, not
Can you
at all.
beat the guy?
No, no, no.
Or do you want to beat the guy?
Don't want to beat the guy. You know, I pick up some reviews of my work from time to time, and you'll hear a lot of talk about, will he ever match the success of such and such and such and such. But see, I'm not on that road. I've been in the business 20 years now, and that's a long time.
Look me over. Tell me, do you like what you see? Hey, I ain't got no money, but honey, I'm rich on personality.
Purple Rain and that whole situation, Thriller, that whole situation, Like a Virgin, that whole situation. I mean, that was a time period. The Beatles are never going to capture what they did in the beginning. If they continue working, if we all continue working, and we all continue growing, I think. And it's our journey, you know. It's not for somebody who doesn't play music to step up and say, you know, that's not as good as. I think we've lost sight of the fact that music, I believe, was put on earth to enlighten and empower us and make us feel closer to our center. You know?
You say enlightenment and power. You wrote Sign of the Times.
Mm-hmm.
Sign of the Times is pretty much the first reference to AIDS ever in a record. How does it feel that you wrote this record so long ago and it's still so on time right now?
And you know, it's part of the evolution. I was growing at that point, and I was getting to a point in my career where I could say anything.
I bought Purple Rain for my daughter. We heard the song Let's Go Crazy on the radio, and Prince is a musical genius. I agree with that, and I like some of his music. But I didn't feel like the song Darling Nikki was appropriate for my 11-year-old. It says, I met a girl named Nikki. Guess you could say she was a sex fiend. I met her in a hotel lobby masturbating with a magazine.
You said whatever before everybody said it. I mean, there's a lot of especially this whole thing with the rap lyrics. And
Yeah, that's kind of a struggle I'm going through right now. I am older, and you know, I respect music even more than I did when I first started. I think we have to remember to respect the music, and I love hip hop, but at the same time, I want some sort of positive closure at the end of everything. You know, they went through James' music, they went through George's music, and now they're trying to go through mine. You know, I just got a bunch of requests for songs, but you know, when it starts out bitch this and 40 that, you know, I already did like this, because I know you can't get out of a web like that. That is a web that you can't get out of it. And some of these acts I really dig, but you know, it's like, I just don't want my music used that way. I don't want to contribute to the problem. The friction that I had with the record company, you know, a lot of it was based in not so much that, but just relationship in general. You know, it's hard to work with somebody who, you know, you're absolutely sure they hate your guts. You know, no. Some of those people will speak the contrary, but you know, you go by and hear what you were feeling, and it was time to move on. You know, we did that. It was a good relationship. I have mostly fond memories of it, you know, and I learned from it. And I wouldn't know freedom like I do now had I not gone through it.
I mean, now you have total artistic freedom.
Total.
Total. Now, do you think that some great art needs boundaries? Like me, comedically, how do I get around censorship? Sometimes you write the better joke, or you write the better song.
Yes, and I think some of my earlier work, if you know, people want to say that it's better, you know, Dearly Beloved, Let's Go Crazy was about God and Satan. I had to change those words up. The elevator was Satan in that song. I had to change those words up because you couldn't say God on the radio. You know? And Let's Go Crazy was God to me. It was, you know, stay happy, stay focused, and you can beat the elevator. And as far as your work is concerned, you know, I've seen you and Richard Pryor, and I don't think censorship should be inflicted upon you or him. I think it's you're being honest in what it is that you're portraying, and you know, I've seen you both ways, and I appreciate the honesty.
When you're at Warner Brothers, there's a lot of flack for putting out too many albums.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel that if you were an artist in another time period, that you'd be more appreciated?
Aretha Franklin, every 3 months there's a new album. James Brown, every 3 months there was a new single and album. You know, yeah, it was, if I'd been in that time period, but then again, competition would have been more fierce too.
Beatles had the Rolling Stones. Elvis had Jerry Lee Lewis. Early on in your career, who was the guy that you looked at and said, "Oh, I got to get back in the studio"? Did you hear so-and-so?
Yeah.
Let's get in the studio right now. Who did that for you? Everybody's got somebody.
Yeah, well, contrary to what a lot of people might believe, it was never somebody who was my contemporary.
There was never like any rivalry between you and Mr. Jackson?
Oh, not to me, no.
Okay. So I love the story of you, you know, there's all these Prince, I'm sorry. That's the guy you used to be.
Mm-hmm.
There's the story of you turning down Bad.
Well, you know, that Wesley Snipes character,
Right.
that would have been me. All right, now you run that video in your mind. The first line of that song is "Your butt is mine." Your butt is mine. Now I said, who's gonna sing that to whom? Cause you sure ain't singing it to me. And I sure ain't singing it to you. So right there we got, right there we got a problem.
It's so weird now. You were made out to be this weird cat, and he was like Mr. Disney, and you're married. chilling. He's just you're like a married man.
Well, you know,
Play it.
you know, there again, you know, hopefully the press will get to the point where we'll just all it'll be a law where you have to tell the truth. It won't be about speculation. You know, I'm a musician. I live for that. I live for playing and creating songs. We get wrapped up in a lot of things. That's what writing Slave on Your Face is about, you know. I got wrapped up in the ego of the whole thing.
You're one of the greatest live performers ever.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, you really are. I mean, you talk about owning your music. I think the thing you have that's worth more than anything else that you have is your reputation as a live performer will feed you when all else fails. And you know, you got the symbol, no matter what it is. You could, you know, it could be Willie. Is Willie gonna sing?
Right.
You know, are you gonna sing Kiss? Well, I'm there.
I got a lot of Gemini in me, and I can hear, I can hear a voice in there talking, and you know, it's just I gotta always listen as to where it's coming from. You know, now the voice will sometimes say, play what makes you feel the best, play the new music, play where you are now.
Come on! Everybody get your groove on! Come on! Come on, everybody! Go party all night long! Get your groove on!
Emancipation's 3 hours long. You know, it's 36 songs. That would fill up a show. I would love to do that the whole time. That's 3 hours. But, you know, Willie wants to do Kiss too, so, you know what I'm saying? And Willie wants to do Kiss for the people because, you know, the fans I have, well, friends, I don't like to call them fans because that's short for fanatic, but the friends that I have that come to the shows, they're just, it's beauty personified. Staying in this business this long and getting older, which I love, you know, you realize that it's not you being tired of it. It's of immense concern. You have to be concerned with, are you doing something for somebody else? You know, we get wrapped up in a lot of things. That's what writing Slave on Your Face is about, you know. I got wrapped up in the ego of the whole thing.
There will come a time, blind blind, everything you look for, you'll find. Take a look inside.
Tell us what your new charity is about.
Basically, I come do a show and people pay to see that show. We take all of the money. It's not portions of the proceeds, but all of the money goes into the foundation, and we take care of children in need. We have plans to build a school and a dream to build a hospital one day. The concept for it has been going on about a year now, but, you know, my soul will say that it's been going on for thousands of years, and I'm just manifesting it now. It's much more rewarding to do a concert this way. I can't tell you. It's completely different, and you know, to be able to be the catalyst for something like this is very important to me. And you know, I'm still learning. Emancipation is a good indication of that. You know, the press is going to look at this project as very ambitious. They'll look at it as a make or break project. None of my projects have been make or break. I have a lot of friends that will continue to support me.
Yes.
and my music. It's just like you said, when Willie get on the mic and the lights go down, that's what time it is.